All right, hey friends, welcome back to the third episode of OS Dev Gardening. I'm Mark. I'm your tour guide, your host, your gardener. And if you're watching the recording, then please make sure to check below for the details, the timestamps, which I will add after the fact, which will help you navigate the recording. If you're new here, I am working on an operating system. And it's very casual though. I'm working very slowly at a very relaxed pace just for fun. Just for fun and for learning. And these streams always end up being really fun and educational. And so I'm looking forward again to this one. Just for context, if you're new here, this project is kind of unique. So first off, I'm not starting from scratch with my operating system. I am basically just starting from this open source one called XV6, and I'm just trying to do little things to build my confidence because I'm not an expert. I'm not a beginner either. I would say I am an intermediate systems programmer. I have a decent amount of experience conceptually with a lot of this stuff, but I have also never personally implemented it either. And so this is my opportunity to do that. And I have some things I've thought of. I have a couple principles with my project. So don't start from scratch. Keep moving forward and have fun the entire time. Those are a few guiding principles. I also I have this vision of creating a minimal OS for play, experiments, and learning, but an OS that's also high quality and uses good software engineering principles, and has a maintainable code base. And I also want to test myself a little bit in terms of my skills as a systems software engineer. And just a bit about me. So my background is in computer security, but also music technology, actually. And that's where I've got a lot of my knowledge from. So yeah, with that in mind, let's take a look at our Kanban board for what's going on with the project. It looks like a lot because I have a lot of ideas. Well, I guess I've already done a bunch of basic stuff too, but for the moment, we are still in kind of a basic mode of just getting up and running with the OS. And the main goal is to get it to a state where personally I feel comfortable and at home with the OS, because right now I don't. It still feels like a very alien and foreign code base to me. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. I'm pretty unhappy with the build system. It's very messy. The directory layout of the project is very messy. Until very recently, this is what we were working on last stream, but all of the files were in a single directory. And then just last stream, we added a directory for the kernel called kern, to have some separation between the kernel files and the user space files. So this is just something ultra basic that that's basically necessary to feel comfortable with working on this code base, because I don't see myself working on this code base, living in it, and feeling comfortable with it if we don't at least have some of these hygiene things out of the way. So we're just starting from some really basics, and I'm confident that eventually we'll get into more advanced stuff with the OS. But for now, we're taking it really easy, and we're just kind of just making some improvements to the build system, the makefile, stuff like that. It's not going to be the most sexy OS development. We're probably not adding any system calls or anything like that, although we may get into interrupts today because that is related to the build. But nevertheless, it will be an accurate slice of life of a systems programmer, which is also something I want to show in these streams. That I think a lot of people might have this vision of a systems programmer always doing extremely hardcore stuff all the time, just like system calls, interrupts, assembly. But it's my belief that the actual day-to-day reality can be kind of different, I don't actually have any proof of that because I've never been like a pro systems programmer or a pro operating systems programmer really in this way. But my guess is that not every day is adding syscalls for them. Some days are just fixing the build, making the code base more maintainable for the future, making it easier for other people to understand things, taking on technical debt. And that's also what I want to portray here. And so a bit of just this kind of everyday slice of life kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get back into it. So last time, again, the focus was on cleaning things up, especially with respect to the file layout. And formerly, every file was just in this directory, but now we actually have one single directory, the current directory, which is where we've moved our kernel components. A next step would be to start adding some like user space types of directories and that kind of stuff. And so maybe we could keep going with that today. But just to start off, I'm going to make sure my environment is sourced. Where am I in the right place? Garden OS. Yeah, okay. Maybe I was not in the right directory. Env setup.fish. So just to recap, all that does is set an environment variable, which is necessary for the build system. So now I'm going to do a clean. Now I've cleaned out my build, although maybe it seems like there's a few things left. I'm not totally sure. Again, and also another part of this experience is more of like a real life sense of joining on to a project as opposed to starting from scratch. In the real world, you're probably not starting from scratch in almost any job that you're going to have. You're probably going to join onto a team and onboard onto the code base. And that's kind of the experience that I'm showing in this stream too, where I'm kind of pretending that like not only am I onboarding onto a code base, but I'm also the quote unquote the new lead developer, and all the other developers have left the company or whatever. And now I'm taking over. It's my job to figure out what we need to do here to keep going with the project and adjust it for our needs. So one thing I can immediately see that's not good is that we have a bunch of .d files left. These .d files, for example, okay, maybe those are not available in the quick searcher. I'll just tab kern id.d. These .d files are automatically generated by the build system. I'm going to clean up some of these Vim panes. So these .d files are not part of the source code repo. They are generated during the build system by this, I believe it's this -md flag for GCC. And excuse me, I don't exactly know what it does, but I know that it's related to automatic dependency management. And my loose high-level understanding is that it is related to, it's kind of like a build optimization thing, something like that, maybe. And it helps the build system only rebuild object files when it's necessary. And so a smart build system is not going to rebuild the entire project every single time you try to build. A smart build system is going to notice what files have changed since the last build, and then only rebuild the object files related to those files. And I'm pretty sure that's what this .d thing here is. This is basically a make compatible file and make syntax that expresses a dependency on this object file ide.o with all of these kern, or maybe I'm being dumb. Kern ide.c. This is working. Yeah, nice. So maybe we can just kind of understand this a little bit. This file is automatically generated by the build. And it's just a list. So IDE.o depends on IDE.c, and then all of the headers in IDE.c, starting from buff. Interesting, defs. Okay, it's for some reason the order is not the same as what's in the file. But I believe what's happening here is we're saying that anytime any of these files changes, recompile this object file. That's just how it works in C. I mean, it's kind of clear, like, of course, if we modify this IDE.c file, we're going to need to modify and recompile the object file. But something that I think is a little bit less clear is that if any of the the headers included by the C file change, we also need to recompile this object file, or this translation unit, as it's called. Excuse me. And that's because these header files could have any number of things on it, and this file might depend on them. And a main example could be structure definitions. If we include one of these header files because it has a structure definition, and then later on somebody, or like I, make a change and add a new member to the structure, that is going to affect the struct layout in memory, and everybody that codes in terms of that structure is going to need to recompile and take those changes into account. So that's a bit of a long-winded explanation into these .d files. And the reason we started looking at this even is because I saw a bug. And the bug is that even after a make clean, we still have these things lingering around. We don't have them anymore in our root directory, but that's because, yeah, so now, our bug is that, so now we added this kern directory, and what's kind of annoying is that now we need to, the stupidest solution is to do something like this. Oh, I can't open file for writing. Oh, I think let me just quit out of everything here. I changed the name of the directory to GardenOS, and now my Vim needs refreshing. So why is there a new line here? Is that, I think I was just there. Okay, I'm not gonna take that on for now. Okay. So this is kind of this is annoying because the clean rule of the make file manually specifies a bunch of stuff. And yeah, and so the simplest solution is to just simply add another. Ooh, I guess if I want to do it in alphabetical order, I should do it like this. The simplest solution is to basically replicate this for what is it? It deletes the GDB init. That's just, wait, what? I thought that was part of the repo. Interesting. Okay, GDB init is actually omitted by the build system. Ah, that's fascinating. For some reason. Apparently it needs to customize this template with this GDB port, which you, oh wow. Okay, this is kind of complicated. It apparently does, it tries to be very smart and generate a unique GDB port during the build, which it then like kind of patches into this template and then emits a final GDB init. That is very interesting. But yeah, I haven't totally shown it yet, but one thing that's super nice about not starting from scratch and starting from an existing code base is that a lot of this foundational infrastructure for debugging is already there. The build is already there, the boot process is already there, the debugging infrastructure is already there, and that is a massive win. That's easily a couple hours saved of my time that I don't, that I can do other things with my life with, and not just be spending my entire life doing operating systems development. And I just get a bit more bang for my buck this way. Anyway, that's a bit of a digression. Let's get back over here. So we were looking at the clean rule. And I'm just trying to think if there's something we want to do that's a bit more sustainable, or I guess sustainable is not the right word, but a bit less maintenance or error prone. Because now we're doing this error prone thing where we replicate deleting every single type of file. But yeah, like I would like to avoid this kind of bug in the future. Now if I have to make clean. Yeah, it's a nice clean build directory. So I do make kernel. Right, so now we have all this stuff again. I'm just curious. Yeah, okay, our git init is complete, so we don't see any of this, but we we have a bunch of just this stuff here now. And I don't really know. I kind of like, technically we could try to just delete all this other stuff, but yeah, for the moment, I think I'm just going to move forward and not try to find the most sustainable solution for this. Oh, I think I meant that's a bug. I will. Oops. Okay, I messed up. Okay. Let's. I didn't mean to stage these. I meant to delete them, however I do that. Okay, nice. So now we just have this hunk, which is exactly what we want. Like my, okay, there we go. And yeah, so, oh yeah, one thing I should really fix up that commit. Now that we were in a clean place. Just curious. Oh, interesting. I'm just kind of looking at the history. So this is kind of like my main branch. It's the offline mark branch. For some reason, there's this fix up commit that is that's now in our add_ders branch, but it shouldn't really be there. This is the first commit of the add_ders. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to all right, this should be a fix-up commit. Oh, wow, okay, yeah. Okay, so this thing we just added should be a fix-up commit for this, because that was a mistake, and this really belongs in this this commit, which already had a bunch of makefile stuff going on, and we even already adjusted that's where we added this thing. And so that makefile change really belongs in this commit. So let's just mark it as a fix-up. I mean, let's just do that. I could have amended it, but let's just do that right now. Fix it up. Good. Now let's take a moment and check out back to offline mark, and okay. Okay, what I want to do is hard reset my offline mark branch to this one with the fix up. It's a little bit, yeah. I don't quite know how that happened, but yeah. So now we're on the main branch, and we have this, and now we can autos squash master. Okay, maybe I'm just messing stuff up left and right. Oh, whoops, get rebase. I usually, yeah, okay. I forgot the -I. So we might have some merge conflicts. Let's just fix them. All right, I'm going to go into VS Code for this because it's a bit better for resolving merge conflicts. And yeah. So what's the conflict? We have this base. Where are we even? Conflict in make file cannot apply. Let's see, so I'm a little bit confused. So we are trying to Right. Okay, so I feel like I'm pretty sure this is just what we want, though. I don't actually really understand totally the source of the conflict. But I think I know. Okay, so this is the original state of the repo, and we actually had to add palm tree break. It's this eye protector thing I have from my computer to make sure I'm remembering to not be staring at the screen so much. To get some water. Stand up. Do some stretching. All right, we're back at it. Okay, I understand now. So the original state of like the master branch was like this. It did not have this -I dot thing. We needed to add this for some, or did we? I'm pretty sure we did, but I actually kind of forgot the reason. It was related to headers, something like that. That's kind of dumb that I can't remember. It was related to the Clang format fix, I want to say. But I'm not going to focus on that right now. It was something to do that, I want to say. Anyway, this is taking kind of a long time, but I added this error, and the long story short is that this is just the final state of the code we want. It has both changes. It has this -I dot thing, and it also has this fix for the C flags. So I'm going to accept the incoming change. Continue. So there's some more conflicts. Support angle breadth. So I think I am unfortunately just resolving the same. In this case, I don't want this. I just want this. Except the current change. Okay. And it looks like we did it. So yeah, that looks great. Now we have this nicer, yeah, it's fixed. So now we can check back out, and I think we can even rebase onto conflicts. Oh, what? I'm like kind of confused why. Git rebase abort. So what's going on here? All that should be happening is I just want this one commit now on top of offline mark. That's all I want. And I think the way I'm going to do that is I think I'll just do kind of the stupid way of doing it, which will be to make a new one. Pick. Yep. Got it. That looks good. Then I will delete branch. Then I will rename this here. And I think that's the state we want. Okay. Nice. So now we have our Git in a nice state. With this add ders branch, we're going to add the kernel dir. And also just one comment on this is that we, like, my strategy here is I'm trying to not make massive changes that just completely break the build. I'm trying to do this in a very incremental step-by-step way. And so this first commit of the branch was just the smallest amount of changes possible to move the kernel components out of the root dir and keep it building, basically. So it's just a bunch of movement and then some makefile, which does it kind of in a bad way and just copies this kern thing all up in front of all these files. And also adds some tech debt in terms of this line right here, which may be a comment. Maybe it's worth a comment for. I don't really love comments, but I think maybe I will reach for them just in this case because I don't want to lose things. So oops. Okay, reset. I don't want to lose things, so use a variable for kern here. And kern, oops. Maybe a fix me makes the kernel headers available for user space. To user space also this build. Which is not ideal. Okay, maybe we'll add a couple of these things. We will just amend. Maybe not. Maybe just add to-dos. We might clean that up a little bit later when we're ready to submit this branch or submit this branch. But yeah, so anyway, so now we fixed that little build bug. Just to clarify. Yeah. So now that we fixed the build bug, we are ready to keep going, kind of. And the next step would be to do a very similar thing. Well, well, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure we're totally done, because there's all this suspicious stuff like asm.h and boot asm.h. So there's a bunch of files that are still in the root directory that don't belong there, I think. Okay, yeah, and the explanation for that is because at first, all we did was we just moved all of the files in this kernel objects list. And that's all we were aware of. But now we are aware of other things here. And I'm just, a cleanup I want to do is rename this to like kernel objects or something like that, because objects is not very descriptive. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of want to just do this cleanup where I extract a variable just right here, right now, because I kind of hate looking at all this duplicated stuff. But I always I don't really know make that well. So I'm just going to quickly bring up my my GNU make book. And can we just setting? Yeah, I mean, maybe target specific variables. Maybe just ChatGPT is the way to go here. Or maybe just this, I think it's this like colon equals thing. I also think I have another make book lying around. But I can't find it right now. All right, it's annoying. So an example. Variable assignment, target specific variables. Kernel. I'm just going to do the kernel there. Kern. How about that? All right. And we will just is that how you do variables? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just been such a long time since I've done like plain make kernel. That seems to work. So Yeah, at least. Kern. And there's just a couple other of these places. Yeah, okay, good. So I think make clean, make kernel. So that just feels nice. Yeah, got rid of that, cleaned that up a bit. Good. Let's just amend that into the original. Oh, why are there always conflicts? Okay, what's the conflict here? Nothing to do. All right, let's just set it like we want it. Something with the comment. It's kind of dumb. Yeah. And now it's like no, we don't want this. All right. Good. So now the only to do is basically that one to do, and we've have this nice commit that just uses current dir. So we're keeping our history nice and clean, nice and minimal as we go. Cool. Good. So anyway, back to here. So we added the current dir. We added the basic kernel objects. Let's keep going. What are the other objects that we need? I think it was called entry. There's a handful of other ones that are still in the root dir. I mean, it's pretty conspicuous. It's stuff like sm.h, boot sm.s, boot main.c. And I think I kind of want to try using NNN for this, although maybe streaming is not the best time to learn all these tools, but I think I can select things like this, entry other. Yeah, there's just a handful of these other things that are needed. I'm going to take a moment just to clean the build, just to get rid of the noise. Init code. Yeah, there's a lot of these assembly files that are needed for the early boot. I think that seems about right. And how do I move them here? V, move here. Does this? Did that do what I wanted it to do? Yeah, I think that did what I wanted it to do. Okay, so I've just moved a bunch of these files into the kernel dir. And yet again, I have broken build. And what I need to do is that I need to prefix every reference to one of these files with this kernel dir thing, which maybe okay, this kernel dir thing, which maybe I should copy into a register, which I learned how to do recently. Apostrophe K yank. All right, now we're back here. And yeah, I kind of flip back and forth between Vim and VS Code. But maybe this is a good. So what do I need to do? So this whole thing is kind of a mess. Ideally, the kernel's build system would be kind of in the kernel directory, I think. So it's kind of a, yeah, extracting it out like this kind of sucks. It kind of sucks to just be placing all these kernel dir prefixes everywhere. But yeah, but maybe, I don't know, maybe maybe a shorter name would have been good, like kdir. Is that kind of, it's a bit less noisy, but yeah. Go back to VS Code. Okay, boot SM. So I'm gonna search for boot and then just do one of these things. First, I'm gonna go back, redo my yank over here. Yank, boot SM. Then I'm gonna go select boot. Grab all of these. Did that work? Or did that just mess things up? Trying to be smart here, but yeah. I thought boot. Well, it's very simple. K P. Oh, why? Something happened with this cursor though. What the hell happened? Okay, but I think I copied the wrong thing. I should have copied this and this brace. Yank. Let's try that one more time. P. Yeah, this is kind of painful to watch. Man. All right. I could have sworn that. Right. Yeah, that should have worked. So now if I go here. Okay, that's looking better. I don't know what happened that first time. But that's it. Yeah. So now same with this. Just these two references. Uh-oh. Why? Okay. Okay. Why? What's going on? This Vim thing is not, my Vim paste is not working this time for some reason. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Okay, sorry. Moving on. initcode.s. There we go. Slowly but surely. Kernel.ld. Yeah, like this all just kind of sucks. Yeah, like this whole build system just really needs a lot of work because we have these, it's just emitting these binary build outputs directly into the root dir. We have no separation between the build output dir and the source files, which is a big thing on my list to do next. So yeah. So okay, but let's just keep moving on. Okay, kernel.ld. was, okay, I think asm.h is going to come back to bite us somewhere. I think specifically right here. What needs asm.h? Boot sm, entry.s, and entry other. But boot main. What does boot main include? This is annoying. This types.h. elf.h is already in the kernel. Mem layout is already in the kernel. x86 is already in the kernel. So Buddhism. What else? Yeah, this is just okay. So if a file only needs these kernel headers, it only needs ikern. But boot main is kind of annoying in that it needs types.h, which is that that's also we also moved that into the kernel. Yeah, it's just a huge mess. It's just an absolutely huge mess. I want to get rid of the types.h anyway, and maybe I should have done that first, which would have made this a little bit easier. But now it's a little late because I've built all this work on top of that, so I think I'm just not going to worry about that. Yeah. What if all these things, I'm just going to try doing the dumb thing. I'm just going to simply replace all of these -i dot things with -i kern, which is also kind of bad. I should be using ikerndir, strictly speaking. But I will do that in a second after I try to get this thing building. Yeah, I think it would be also nice to make this makefile smaller. It's kind of hard to deal with the huge files. Okay. Kernel. Make clean. Make kernel. No rule to make target entry.o needed by kernel. Yeah, this build system work is a little bit boring, but it's also the core of the project. If you understand deeply how the build works, you really get to know the project very well. And so I don't really consider it very optional to not at least understand it well. And it's also just interesting to see what files are involved. That's the first step towards actually starting to like hack on them, I feel like, is just getting a sense of what is even going on here. Entry. .o. Entry. .o. The kernel requires entry.o. So it must be, it's going to be one of these entry.s, which we've moved into the kernel. So that was just an implicit thing. What if we just add this? Entry.o. And then now every reference to this is going to need to be prefixed, with this kernel dir thing, which is a little bit verbose and messy. But now I feel like, oh, kernel.ld was, okay, forgot one place with my kernel LD. Oh, okay, we're getting closer. Multiple, oops, just trying to check my stream thing. Hopefully that's readable. I don't have a good sense of the display size yet. Yeah, but okay, multiple definitions of start. What's the error? In function multi-boot header. Multiple definition of multi-boot header. Okay, there is some, I think I even know what the problem is. No? Okay, entry.s. Oh. All right, break time. All right, another good break. So something is going on here. Multiple definitions of the multi-boot header, multiple definitions of the start symbol. Multiple definitions of entry. I'm kind of at multiple definitions, which made me feel like this was getting included multiple times in something. Yeah, I think this is the cause of it. It's getting included in the build command line twice for some reason, which is just stupid. Okay, I see. So now, right now that we added it to the objects thing, there's no reason to manually specify this anymore. So we can just delete that. Oops. Yeah, nice. And our kernel builds. Great. Yeah, that's good news. So quickly just going to stage all this, but I think I will take the opportunity what was I going to do? It was like this -i kern thing, but that's a little bit also of a cleanup. No, yeah, no, I think I'll just, yeah. I'm going to add another commit. Add rest of kernel files into kern. Again, not totally sure how this history is going to look at the very end. Like maybe I'm also gonna take the drop me, because this doesn't belong in the final history. I think these two commits, this commit and this commit, will get squashed together. It's kind of a big commit. Maybe not, but yeah, we can see. And now about this -i kern thing. Yeah, so now we can also Yeah, so now we can also do this. So now that we have this nice handy variable for the word kern, yeah, we don't need to hard code this anywhere. So, but I feel like I should learn my tools a lot better, to be honest. I should just, yeah, I need to be doing this. Kernel dir. And how do I just let this rip? Yeah. Option, command, enter. Okay, I did not want to open this like text editor window. Just let it rip. Let's go. Okay. This fix me is still relevant. I want to just do that. Make clean, make kernel. That should not have done it. Yeah. So what's going on here? Okay, back to here. So technically it's a few things. Yeah, so it's a few things. I'm trying to just figure out, again, with a history perspective, we introduced a few things early in the history. And then, excuse me, then a few things come later. So I'm just going to try to recreate that. So these things came first in the history. So I will do an amend of just that hunk. It's the fix me commit. Fix me line. Current change. Then we're trying to bring in this thing. Yeah. The fix me doesn't exist yet. Yeah. So this is what we want. Okay. Conflicts. So now, oops. Now this thing and this is what we want. Yeah, that fix me comment is kind of that extra thing is a little bit annoying. Okay, resolve that. Honest. Oh, what the? I fucked up. Okay, shit. Can I undo? How do I undo? Lazy git undo. Pressing Z. Yeah, I kind of didn't want to do that. Right. That's interesting. Yeah, so this whole git thing is causing me some pain. I'm trying to just like do this kind of right. This is also kind of real world because in like certain communities, the git thing is kind of important, and so this is just something you deal with. Let me try that one more time. Yep. So I'm just using that variable in the places where I can. So base auto squash master. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna stash these changes. not going to name that. Okay. All right, good. Yep. So now we're back kind of in a similar situation, and let me do this actually right. So the resolution here is to remove this line, because what's the difference between the middle and the top? It's that the comment is no longer there. So apply that to the bottom line. And let's keep going. We're back again. And let me do this right this time. What's the difference between the middle and the top? It's that this thing changed. So we want this line instead of this line. Yes, this looks correct this time. Okay. Hello. Continue. Okay, frankly, this just, yeah, this just gets squashed and fixed up into the below commit. Okay, so now we have made some progress yeah, we made a lot of progress actually. So now just do a clean. Here's what our root directory looks like. And it's mostly user space stuff now. It's pretty obvious from the, like, cat, echo, grep, init, kill, ln, ls, mem, ide, not, yeah, make dir. These are all very user space looking things. I think run that sh. Okay, I think I added that script at some point. Is it even a part of the repo though? It is. At some point I must have added it. Git blame. Does this work? Or git, right, duh. Git log run sh. Add basic run script. Okay, that's not that useful. But whatever, this is looking good. We're making solid progress. And I might cut it here. Yeah, and we'll cut it here, and then I'll film another one for doing the user space. Cool. So thanks for watching. Yeah, that was just continuing to work on the build system, making progress on it, and getting everything into the kernel directory, actually.